Aloha friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel for another productivity video. I love these videos so much, and I know they don't perform as well as some of the other things like unboxings or whatever, but I feel like these concepts have brought so much value into my life, and there's nothing more that I want in this world than to try to bring some value into your life to give back to everything you've given me by just following this channel in general. So if you clicked on this video, thank you, I love you, and I hope that this brings you a ton of insight. So today's video, I'm going to be talking you through the things that I have implemented into my day-to-day life to not only increase my productivity, but also reduce my stress. I've found this cool kind of rhythm lately to where I have been getting significantly more work done, like 4 videos a week, launching a podcast, running a brand, auditioning, doing so many random things, but also having significantly more free time in my day and actually taking off evenings and resting, and it's been incredible. So these are the things that I have implemented into my life to make that possible. A lot of this really has to do with just taking the pressure off of your brain in every way, shape, and form. When you don't have to think about things or remember things, stress goes down significantly, at least for me. So one of the first practical ways that I have been doing this is batching emails. Now, I don't know what you do for a job if you are self-employed like me, or if you work for a company, but hopefully you have some say over your email flow, and email is pretty much a part of everybody's day-to-day work life, no matter what field you're in. Even if you're just an actor, that's how you get your auditions, you know? So one thing that I have been doing is batching my emails. I aim to do this 1 time a day, but I'll kind of keep my eye on my inbox for an evening second round of emails if I need to, if it's just like a really crazy busy day. But the flow that I've been getting into in my day-to-day work is I wake up in the morning and I respond to all of my emails at once when my brain is really, really fresh. And yeah, it probably takes me about an hour to get through a day's worth of emails, even though I only respond to like 5% of the emails I get. But it's insane how much more time I feel like I have throughout the day. It will take me 1 hour to sit down and do it all at once, but if I was keeping my eye on it throughout the day and responding as they came in, not only do those 5 minutes every 20 minutes add up, but responding to people quicker allow the flow of emails into your inbox to be quicker as well. Because the way I'm doing it now, I will only have 1 email exchange with a person or a brand a day, where if I respond every 20-30 minutes, I could respond to that person 10 times in a day. So it kind of is nice to slow the flow of my emails by only doing that 1 time a day, or I'll kind of keep my eye on my inbox throughout the day and I'll delete things that I know are just junk, whatever, to keep it looking pretty and clean so I don't get overwhelmed seeing a huge full inbox. Subcategory to that would be forwarding myself emails that I don't have the mental capacity to respond to in that exact moment. So I will go through my inbox and I will respond to everything important, but sometimes there are emails that are important and that I need to respond to, but I don't quite know what I want my response to be yet. Whether it's a brand pitching themselves to me and I really, really like the brand, but they have a really small budget and then I'm kind of torn and I don't know what I want to do in that moment. Instead of sitting there staring at my screen trying to figure out what am I gonna do? Do I want to accept a really low rate because I love this brand? Do I want to try to negotiate for more? Should I pass? Instead of going through all those thoughts at once, I will just forward it to myself after I go through my emails, so it's bumped back up to the very top of my inbox. And I will find myself kind of naturally thinking about it throughout the day when it feels right, and when I'm not pressured to make a decision in that moment, the correct answer kind of comes to me, and then I know exactly how I want to respond, and it takes me 20 seconds to respond to that email instead of 20 minutes thinking about my response. I want to talk about brain dumping as much as possible onto your notes, whether that be in a journal, on the notes on your phone, if you have a specific note-taking app, if you're really cool and artsy and you bullet journal. Brain dumping has been so incredibly helpful for me for productivity and for just keeping my mental clutter clear. I do some brain dumping into a notebook, but the majority of it I use my phone, my notes app, because it's always right there with me. If I have a thought about anything or everything, I will write it down into a note because I feel that pressure pressure taken off of me. I know, okay, I don't have to think about that or remember that because I have it written down and now I can't forget it. It's right there. A lot of times I will do this with video concepts. If I try to remember a video concept to record later, I can guarantee you I will forget that video concept, or even talking points to a video. For example, this video, I've had in my notes app for 4 weeks now, and whenever I am going throughout my day thinking of another thing that I'm like, oh, this is helpful to my productivity, I'll just quickly write it down, forget about it, and now I'm sitting down to film this video with zero prep except for the random thoughts I've had for the last 4 weeks. It's been so incredibly nice. Same thing goes for to-dos, for organizing your day-to-day, and for tasks that you might not want to do but you need to do. This is where I recommend batching all of those tasks that are just kind of, adulting life tasks onto one particular note or one particular page of your journal and setting it aside and forgetting about it until you have a specific day set aside. So I like to try to give myself a day, I would say in an ideal world every 2 weeks, but in reality it becomes every 3 to 4 weeks, where I just knock out everything that is hanging over my head. You know that feeling of tasks that you're like, I know I need to do this and I just really don't want to do this? It feels nice to know you've given yourself a time to knock all that out one specific day in the future. And write that down on your calendar if you need to. So for example, I'll write down, I need to get my oil changed. I need to make a doctor's appointment. I need to figure out how to put our electricity bill onto auto pay. All those types of things. I'll make a list and I'll say, okay, next Thursday, I don't have a lot going on, or if you have a 9 to 5, maybe next Sunday, whatever. I'm going to just knock out this whole list in one day, rip the bandage, and then I'll be good for probably another month until these kind of tasks pile up again. That's been so helpful because if you think about it, you go get your oil changed on Monday and you stop and you get a coffee and you are stuck in traffic, and then before you know it, 3 hours has gone by, but then Tuesday you call your doctor and it's in the middle of the workday, and at this point it's 3 p.m. and I might as well stop work because it's getting late in the afternoon, so you lost another 4 hours of work, It's just better to do it all at once in my opinion. Before continuing on to the other tips, I want to give a quick thank you and shout out to today's sponsor. Yet again, this video is sponsored by Skillshare, and in preparation for this video, I actually was watching a Skillshare class this morning by Thomas Frank, who I love, and it was the master class on productivity. I only got about a quarter of the way through because I was doing it as I did my makeup, and it's about an hour and a half class, but that's one of the reasons I love Skillshare classes is it's in modules. So I just watched the first 2 or 3 modules and then it had a perfect stopping point for me to pick up again later. If you're not familiar with Skillshare, they are an online learning community and they have so many classes from productivity, like I love, to business, to more fun, lighthearted, creative type things if you like to paint or graphic design or whatever that might be. So it's a very well-rounded platform. They always give me a link too for everyone to use, which is so kind. And if you use the link down in my description, you can try Skillshare Premium for 2 months free. So unlimited classes for 2 months. The link is limited, so only the first set amount of people get to use it. So if you're interested in it, highly recommend checking it out. And not only does it support you and your productivity or your dreams or your goals or your hobbies, but it also allows me to continue to work with Skillshare, which I always love because I stand behind them 100%. Also, after your 2 months free are up, it's totally up to you if you want to cancel, or if you continue, it's less than $10 a month, which I feel like is such a small amount to pay when you're investing in yourself and in your skill sets. So it's awesome. So thank you, Skillshare. I love you so much. It's always an honor working with you. And let's get back into the remaining tips. One thing that has been incredibly helpful for me is to have a safe space to just absolutely grind in terms of workflow. A lot of the time I work from home at my own desk, which is great. Max is here, Brooke is here. It's fun. I could take a second off to take Max outside or get a snack, whatever. But I also like to have a space where I have no distractions, completely distraction free. Now that might look like perhaps a quiet coffee shop for you, a library, a dedicated working space, a separate room in your house that's far away from the family. I don't know what your setup looks like, but there's lots of different ways and free ways to find a space that you just feel like you can focus 100%. I do have a co-working space that I absolutely love. I want to give a little shout out and thank you to Control Collective. They are incredible. They let me use some of their facilities as well, so I just always like to give them a thank you whenever I can. But when I go to my office space, I honestly only go for probably 2 to 3 hours at a time, but oftentimes I feel like I can get 6 hours of work done within those 3 hours because there's nothing to distract me. I have my own room. It is so quiet and it is a space that I know is for brain work. So having that distinction between this is the space for everything. Like, yes, I do get work done here, but I also sleep here and rest here and play here. So just having a separate space dedicated to only work has been huge for my productivity. One other thing that has been hugely helpful to me is planning my week at a glance. I am the personality type to where I can get easily overwhelmed by all of my goals and everything I have going on. Mondays roll around and I look at what I have to do for the week and I get so incredibly stressed and I will work a 12+ hour day trying to get that work done for the week, forgetting the fact that I have a week to get that work done. Maybe on the reverse, maybe you're not a very motivated person and you don't want to get the ball rolling for everything you need to do for the week, and this will help you as well. And that is dividing all the tasks you need to do per each day of the week up front. So normally on a Sunday, I will say, okay, these are the 4 videos I need to film this week. I need to record these podcast episodes. I have this side project going and I need to set up consultations and meetings with these 6 people or whatever. And I will sit down and I will say, Monday, record video 1, plan podcast. Tuesday, edit video 1, record video 2, record podcast. Wednesday, edit video 2, record video 3, have 3 consultations. I'll divide it all out at the first glance of the week. Then once Monday comes around, instead of being like, I have 4 videos to film and 2 podcast episodes to record and 6 consultations I need to do, I'll say, today I only need to record 1 video, edit it, and plan out my podcasts or whatever I just said that I would do. And that has been hugely helpful to my mental stress, is dividing it into chunks. And I hope that that would also be helpful if you are struggling with motivation, being like, okay, all I have to do is this and I will be on track to get the week rolling, and that's not too much to handle. I can do this. Let's get started. Another thing that I've learned the hard way is how important rest is, taking off the evenings. I feel like personally I'm probably pretty prone to burnout just based off my personality type. I like to do as much as possible all the time. I'm a very busybody and I'm very type A. But I have found for the first time in my life, not having to be at the restaurant in evenings, I was working full days at home like I'm doing now and then going into my second job in the evenings. And I realized that having evenings off is a luxury because it took me years to get to this point. But if you have the time and the availability, at least taking an hour or 2 out of your day every day to just completely turn your brain off is so huge for motivation and productivity the following day. I found that I wake up so much more refreshed and rejuvenated and ready to go. And then I also find that I really look forward to my evenings, so I'll work at a quicker speed throughout the workday to make sure I wrap up everything by 6 p.m. so that I can enjoy my evenings. It's kind of like a win-win in a way. And the very last piece of advice I want to give you is visually planning out your projects or your tasks or your obligations. I don't know what field you work in, but for me, a lot of the time it's planning out my content. I have found I have loved using Asana. I have moved away from physical planners when it comes to planning my projects. I love physical planners for, birthdays and family events and things like that. But when it comes to actually planning my projects, I have really loved Asana Online because I can see my whole month at a glance. I can go in and create projects and drop them on different days. If my schedule changes, say if I have a sponsorship pop up and I need to move my videos around to fit that in, then I can just drag and drop those same existing projects into different days of the week, and I have an app for it on my phone. So I primarily like to use it on my computer when I'm working, but if I'm away from my computer and I need to check, oh wait, what video is coming out next Thursday, I can open up my calendar on my phone and check that there really easily. So that's been really helpful for me in the sense of planning. I would love to do another video deep diving into planning a little bit more from the productivity aspect of things. So if you would like that, comment it down below. I'd really love to start putting out some more of these productivity videos to hopefully, get the ball rolling with them a little bit, because as I said, I know they might not perform as well as my other videos, but they are so special and important to me. So if that's something you'd like, let me know in the comments down below. Also, it would be a huge, huge help to me if you could give this video a thumbs up. That would help this video get a little more traction and I can maybe do more videos in this category, because YouTube would then show this video video to new people on their recommended page, which would be awesome. That's basically the formula to how I make my job possible. So I'd appreciate that so much. I love y'all with my absolute whole heart. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.